When the Harvey Weinstein case came to light, many believed it was the first of its kind. But Hollywood has a long history of predators, dating back to the very inception of industry. From Fatty Arbuckle to Kevin Spacey, here are the top 13 predators of Hollywood. Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle. Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle was a famous funny man in movies a long time ago. In 1921, he hosted a party where an actress named Virginia Rapp was present. During the party, something very sad happened to Virginia, and some people said that Arbuckle did something very wrong to her. Soon, many newspapers talked about it. Famous writers even added extra details, which made the news very loud and confusing. Arbuckle had to go to court, and he was tried 3 times because many people had different ideas about what really happened. Even though Arbuckle was eventually found not guilty, the difficult time hurt his career. Many people stopped watching his movies, and his name was linked with the sad events for a long time. This case showed how a person's work and life can change very fast because of what others say, even when a person is innocent. Many believe that the strong newspapers and public anger made it hard for Arbuckle to have a fair chance. Today, people still talk about his story as an example of how power and opinions can hurt a person's life. To date, many people think Fatty was culprit, but many think against it. What do you think? Patricia Douglas. Patricia Douglas was a young dancer who dreamed of making it in Hollywood. In 1937, she got a call to join a party hosted by a big movie studio. She thought it was a chance to show her talent and maybe land a great job. Instead, when she arrived, the party turned out to be very different from what she expected. The party was held far from the busy city, and many important men from the studio were there. Instead of a normal work event, the gathering became wild and out of control. The grown-ups at the party behaved very roughly, and one man named David Ross acted in a mean and hurtful way toward Patricia. He and some others forced her to do things she did not want to do, leaving her feeling scared, confused, and very sad. After the party, Patricia felt so unwell that she went to a hospital. The doctors could not find clear evidence of what had happened, and Patricia felt too embarrassed to ask for more help. Later, determined to stop such harm from happening again, she bravely went to the law officers and filed a complaint against David Ross and others. She did not ask for money or rewards. She only wanted someone to say, "You cannot treat a person that way." Sadly, the powerful people at the studio and even some in the law did not listen. The complaint was dismissed, and Patricia felt alone and betrayed. Over time, the hurt and silence made her life very difficult, and she left Hollywood. Despite everything, Patricia's courage to speak up reminds us that everyone deserves to be treated with kindness and respect, and that we must always stand up for what is right. Louis B. Mayer. Louis B. Mayer was one of the very important leaders in early Hollywood. He helped build big movie studios that made many famous films. Many people admired him for his strong work and leadership. However, later stories came out that said Mayer may have treated some young actresses in ways that were not kind. One famous story tells that he may have touched a young star in a way that was not proper during private meetings. Even though Mayer was well known for creating wonderful movies and supporting many actors and actresses, these stories made people wonder about how he used his power. Some say that when someone is in charge, they must be very careful with their actions because many look up to them. Mayer's story is a reminder that even great builders of our movie world can have secrets that hurt others. Because of these claims, people today think very hard about how leaders should behave and treat others with respect and care. We learn that power should always be used gently and kindly. Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski is a very well-known filmmaker who made many movies that people enjoyed. Many years ago, in 1977, a very sad event happened when a young person named Samantha was hurt at a private gathering with him. Many people later said that Polanski did not treat Samantha in the right way. The matter was taken to court, and he was given a chance to serve a small time away from his work. However, when he learned that he might have to stay longer, he chose to leave the country. He went to live in another land far away, where people do not ask him to return, even if the court wants him to. This choice has made many people talk about his work and his actions for many years. Some believe his movies are very important, while others feel upset when they think about what happened. Polanski's life shows that sometimes even very talented people can make choices that hurt others. His story is now used to remind everyone that when someone is in a position of power, they must be kind and careful with those who are less able to speak up for themselves. Woody Allen. Woody Allen is a famous director and writer who made many movies that people enjoyed watching. Over the years, many stories have come out about his private life. One of these stories said that during a family gathering, when children were present, there was an incident that made some people very sad. While investigations were made by caring adults and experts, different members of his family later gave very different opinions. Some said that what was reported was not true, while others felt deep worry about what might have happened. Because of all these different ideas, many people began to talk a lot about how important it is to protect everyone, especially those who are young and cannot speak up for themselves. In the years that followed, many adults in the movie world made decisions about working with him or not based on how they felt about the stories. Woody Allen has always said that he did nothing wrong, but the debate about what really happened has made many people think about how to keep everyone safe. Bryan Singer. Bryan Singer is a director known for making exciting movies. Many years ago, some young people who worked on his movies said that they were treated in ways that made them feel very uncomfortable. These young friends told their stories about being asked to do things during movie shoots that they felt were not right. The friends later said that they were asked to do things in a way that made them feel unsafe while they were still learning about the movie world. When these stories became known, many people became upset and wanted to understand what really happened. Some helpers looked into the stories to find out the truth. Although some legal steps were taken, many of the young friends felt that their voices were not heard. In some cases, the matter was discussed, and the young friends said that they did not get the support they needed at the time. This made many people in Hollywood think about how important it is for every young person to feel safe and respected when they are learning and growing in their work. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was once a very famous actor and teacher on TV who made many people laugh. For many years, he was loved by fans because he helped bring smiles and good lessons into people's homes. Children and grown-ups alike looked up to him as a kind and gentle role model. His shows were full of fun and helpful messages, and many families trusted him to be a positive influence. However, as time went on, many people began to share stories about how Bill Cosby behaved in ways that hurt others. Friends and former colleagues said that when they were much younger, Cosby did things that made them feel very upset and unsafe. These stories were hard to hear because they came from people who once admired him. Slowly, more friends spoke up, and more stories emerged about how his actions had caused deep hurt and lasting pain. When these voices were heard, many caring people in the community started to ask important questions about how helpers and teachers should behave in every home and workplace. Bill Cosby went to court, and many adults who cared about others talked about what had happened. The court looked carefully at all the facts, and in the end, many people agreed that his actions had hurt many friends and changed how they felt safe. Even though Cosby once made people smile with his shows, the hurt he caused made many think that no one, no matter how famous, should ever use their talent to make others feel bad or unsafe. Today, many people use Bill Cosby's story to remind everyone that every helper and teacher must always be kind and respectful. His case teaches us that even famous people must follow the rules that keep everyone safe and happy, and that hurting others is never acceptable. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was a very powerful movie producer who helped make many famous films. For many years, he was known for his big role in the movie world. However, many brave people later came forward with their stories. They said that Weinstein used his power in ways that made them feel very hurt. These people, mostly women, explained that when they tried to work in movies, he would invite them to private rooms and ask for very personal favors that they did not want to give. Even though he was very famous, many of these people felt scared and confused about what was happening. They trusted him at first because he was an important figure in Hollywood. But as more and more stories came out, everyone began to understand that his behavior was very wrong. The brave voices of these people showed that no one, no matter how famous or powerful, should treat others in a hurtful way. As the news spread, helpers like law officers and reporters started to look closely at the matter. They gathered many stories and facts, and soon it was clear that many people had been affected. The public began to demand that Weinstein be held responsible for his actions. His actions hurt many lives and caused a lot of sadness in the movie community and beyond. Because of these strong and united voices, Weinstein was taken away from his job and faced the consequences of his actions. His case became a very important example of how even well-known people must use their power kindly and with respect. It reminded everyone that hurting others is never acceptable. The Harvey Weinstein case taught us that when someone in a powerful position behaves badly, it is important for society to come together, listen to the truth, and make sure everyone is treated fairly and with care. Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey was once a very famous actor who starred in many popular shows and movies. Many people enjoyed watching him on television and in theaters because he played interesting characters and made audiences laugh and cry. He was known for his talent and charm, and his work was loved by many around the world. However, one day a brave young man named Anthony spoke up. Anthony said that when he was very young, Kevin Spacey acted in a way that made him feel very uncomfortable and scared. Anthony's story was the first to be told, and soon other people began to share similar stories about their own experiences with Spacey. They explained that he used his power and fame to treat them in a way that was not kind or gentle. These stories made many people wonder if someone who is famous and important could use their position to hurt others. As more voices were heard, people in the movie world and beyond started to question whether Kevin Spacey was treating everyone with respect. Important decision-makers who were in charge of big projects and movies decided they could no longer work with him. Because of the many stories that came out, his shows and movies stopped, and his role in the entertainment world began to fade away. The world started to think very carefully about the importance of being kind and respectful to everyone, no matter how famous they are. Kevin Spacey's case reminds us that even when someone is very famous and loved by many, they must always be gentle, honest, and respectful to everyone around them. His story teaches us that power must be used kindly and that every friend and helper deserves to feel safe and cared for. It is a lesson for everyone that respect and kindness should always come first. Below are 4 separate 300-word narratives written in a simple style suitable for a young audience. Each narrative describes a different case involving Hollywood figures. Jeffrey Jones. Jeffrey Jones was a well-known actor who starred in many movies and television shows. During one photo session, a young friend who was helping out for the shoot felt very uncomfortable. This young friend said that Jeffrey Jones had acted in a way that was not nice and made him feel scared and upset. When someone heard about it, they told the grown-ups in charge of keeping everyone safe. The police and other law officers began to look into the matter very carefully. The investigation started by talking with the young friend and a few people who were there. They wanted to understand exactly what happened during that photo session. The idea was to make sure that all people, especially young helpers, were safe when they were around famous people like Jeffrey Jones. The law officers looked at all the evidence and listened to many stories. They needed to decide if any rules had been broken during the session. After gathering all the information, the grown-ups in charge decided that Jeffrey Jones had not behaved as he should have. He had to face the rules set by the court. This meant that he had to go to a court of law where a judge listened carefully to what everyone had to say. In court, Jeffrey Jones was told that his actions were not acceptable. The court made sure that a fair process was followed so that the young friend's feelings and safety were taken very seriously. This case reminded everyone that even famous people must always act kindly and respectfully. It taught us that when someone makes another person feel hurt or unsafe, there are rules and laws to help protect everyone. The investigation and court process helped to send a message that no one is above the rules and that the safety of every person, especially young ones, is very important. Victor Salva. Victor Salva is a film director known for movies like Jeepers Creepers. While he was working on a movie, it was reported that he did something very wrong during filming. A young actor on set said that Victor Salva behaved in a way that hurt him. The young actor felt very uncomfortable and scared because of what happened. The people who were in charge of keeping everyone safe at work heard about these claims, and they decided to look into the matter right away. The investigation began by talking with the young actor and a few other people who were present during filming. The law officers and other responsible adults wanted to know all the details about what happened on the movie set. They collected information and looked at how Victor Salva acted with the young actor. It was very important for everyone that those who are still learning and growing on set feel safe and respected. After all the questions were answered and all the facts were gathered, the grown-ups in charge made a decision. They found that Victor Salva had broken some very important rules about how a director should treat people on set. As a result, he was told to follow strict rules from then on. He had to be very careful with his actions, especially around young actors. The punishment was meant to remind him, and others, that every person, no matter their job or fame, must act in a kind and respectful way. Victor Salva's case serves as a clear lesson. It shows that if anyone behaves in a way that hurts someone else, even if they are well known, there will be consequences. This helps make sure that all work environments, including movie sets, remain safe places for everyone. It is a reminder that treating others well is the most important rule of all. Brian Peck. Brian Peck was an actor and producer who once worked in the movie world. For many years, he helped make films that people enjoyed watching. However, some reports later said that Brian Peck made very poor choices when he was around young people during work. According to these reports, his behavior caused young friends to feel uncomfortable and upset. When these stories started to be told, grown-ups in charge of safety and fairness in the industry decided to investigate. The investigation looked closely at the times when Brian Peck was working with young people. Law officers and other responsible adults talked with those who were present. They gathered details about what had happened during various filming sessions and events. The goal was to understand if Brian Peck had done anything that made young people feel unsafe. It was important to make sure that everyone who worked in the movie world, especially those who were still learning, was treated kindly. After gathering all the facts and listening to many accounts, the law found that Brian Peck had indeed behaved in a way that was not acceptable. The grown-ups in charge then set a punishment to help keep everyone safe in the future. Brian Peck was told that he had to face the rules set by the law. His case became an example for others, reminding everyone that even if you are famous or an important person, you must always be respectful and careful with your behavior around young friends. Brian Peck's case teaches us that if someone hurts others through their actions, there will be consequences. It is a reminder that every person deserves to feel safe and cared for, especially in workplaces like movie sets. By following the rules, we all help make the world a kinder place for everyone. Thor. Cameron Thor was an actor who also worked on movie sets. While he was on set, it was reported that he hurt a young friend who was helping during filming. The young friend felt very scared and uncomfortable because of what happened. Soon after, someone reported the incident to the grown-ups who are in charge of keeping everyone safe. The law officers and other responsible adults began to look into the matter very seriously. The investigation started by asking the young friend to share what happened during that day on set. Other witnesses were also talked to so that all the details could be gathered. They wanted to know how Cameron Thor had acted and if his behavior made the young friend feel unsafe. The investigation was very important because everyone, especially young people, should feel safe while working on movies. After all the facts were collected, the grown-ups in charge found that Cameron Thor had indeed behaved in a way that hurt his young friend. The law had clear rules to protect everyone on a movie set, and Cameron Thor was told that he must follow these rules. As a result, he was punished by the court. This punishment was meant to show that when someone in a position of power behaves in a hurtful way, they must face the consequences. Cameron Thor's case serves as a strong reminder to everyone that even if you are a famous actor, you must always be gentle and respectful to all those around you. The case was used as an example to help protect young people working on set. It teaches us that safety and respect are very important, and that if someone's actions cause harm, the law will step in to protect everyone.